Hey guys, welcome back. It's Missy, and if you're new here, welcome. I am a life and relationship coach, and on this channel we get to the root of the issue and we learn how to heal and deal. So if that's your thing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to be a part of the fam. And also, if you are interested in my coaching, then go ahead and look in the link below. My coaching services are there for you to check out. So today's topic is on how to be happy alone. You know, from the time we are young, the importance of having a relationship or always being surrounded around people was ingrained in our brains. And this is through movies, calling you out Disney. This is through the pressure of family and society and social media, all those places that are like, you know, if you're alone, you're a loser. You need to be with the love of your life. They're everything. It will complete you. And so when you don't have that, you feel like there's something wrong with you. And it can be very hard to be alone. So you create this fantasy that you need to be with someone, or else you're worthless, you suck, and you're not going anywhere in life unless you're in a relationship. And with social media, we only show each other what we want each other to see. So we don't really see the negative effects of a relationship. We only see like relationship goals, or, you know, oh, they're so cute, I wish I had that. But they're not showing us their fights, or that really like they're miserable and they're pretending to put on this facade. So what happens is we compare ourselves, and then we feel really sad and we feel bad and we feel like we have to compete, and we also have to have that same thing. So because of this, and you feel that relationships are a need, it can cause you to lower your standards for others. It can cause you to be in unhealthy relationships. It can cause you to positively project that this person is this certain thing and they're not, and then you wind up marrying them, and then you realize, oh shoot, they actually suck. It just causes a lot of unhealthiness because you feel like it's a need. And that's the biggest problem. Is a partner is not a need. A partner is a pleasure. It is a want. Otherwise, if it was a need, then priests would be dead, nuns would be dead, monks would be dead. Anyone that does not indulge in romantic relationships, all would be dead. Because what is a need? A need is something you need in order to survive. So food, water, shelter, emotional connection, but not necessarily having the love of your life. Would you be sadder without it? Yeah, but it's a choice. Because like I said, those people that choose not to be with someone, they die. So because of this, people think that being alone is negative, which is not the case. Being alone is not negative. Being lonely is actually the one that can cause negative side effects like depression. So you have to explain the difference between alone and lonely. So alone literally means no one's around you. Lonely is when you're not connecting with yourself, and or you're not connecting with others on an emotional level. So you can be in a room full of people, have a ton of friends, but still feel so lonely. And then we feel that we shouldn't be alone. So because of that, because of the negative stigma around being alone can be people's biggest fears. They are afraid to be alone with themselves, with their thoughts. So they'll go from person to person, relationship to relationship, event to event. But all those things, they're just distractions. We think that if we have a good time, if we have a ton of things going on, it will make us feel better. But then at the end of the day, when you're alone, all of those things come back up. The loneliness, or things that you're trying to avoid that are going on in here. And the crazy thing is you may be able to run away temporarily, but at the end of the day, you are the only one that has to deal with you. You will be with yourself your entire life. Like, no one else goes with you to shower. Well, I can't say that. I don't know what you do in your personal life. But no one else is inside your head. Even if you told every single thought of yours to someone, they wouldn't be able to relate or feel the same things you're feeling. They can't feel inside your body. Your version of nausea may be someone else's different version of nausea. No one experiences the same things as you will experience. No one will go and die with you. It's going to be an experience you experience alone no matter what. So why would you not not want to make the relationship with yourself the most important relationship in your life. Your relationship with your life will determine how every aspect of your life will go. So it will determine your relationships, your goals, your dreams. It will determine your relationships with your family, your friends, your coworkers, and just overall your entire world. Because how you treat yourself is how other people will treat you as well. And how you think you deserve to be treated is how the world will treat you. So you may wonder, okay, if being alone has such a positive effect, then why don't we naturally just do it? And that reason is because of ego. Because most often ego tries to protect themselves from perceived pain. And if being alone is perceived as a pain, then ego will try to keep you away from it. Ego always thinks it knows better. Ego is insecurity. Ego is fear. If you spend time alone, ego knows that it will reveal the deepest, darkest parts of you. And we don't like to experience those things because it can be uncomfortable. But if a relationship is something that you want, and you want a healthy relationship, then working on yourself and working through whatever's going on with you is the most important route to go. Oftentimes we always say, you know, I'm looking for my other half, but you need to be a whole person, and that person is an extra. But in order to do that, you have to know yourself. So what you need is to be able to be with yourself, which is one of the first points of how to be happy with being alone, is you need to get to know yourself. Part of self-love is knowing the ins and the outs of you, the good and the bad. When you are aware of yourself, you know how to deal with yourself better and help other people learn how to work with you. But also, other people won't have power over you because you already know yourself and you trust yourself. So you want to be able to identify, what does your self-talk sound like on a regular basis? What's going on in here? What are your pains? What are your triggers? Are you still experiencing a pain from your past that you haven't worked through? Where are your wounds? The reason why you want to be able to be aware of your wounds and sit in them is because you want to be able to get to the root of them so that way you can work through them and they won't be an issue in your life and they won't be an issue in your future relationships. So that's why you want to be aware of your resentments. You want to be aware of those painful things. If you are having a hard time being able to identify your self-talk or having a hard time really getting to know yourself, then get out your handy dandy journal and just start listing everything that's going on in here. Start with what you're feeling in your body. Start with what's the first thought that comes to your mind. Start by asking yourself questions. And also, something you may notice is maybe throughout your life, you weren't exactly being yourself, but you were being the person that other people expected you to be or wanted you to be. Or maybe you were the person that your family always told you. Maybe it was a trauma response where you were always perceived as a negative person, so then you thought you were this person and so you always behaved as that person, but in reality you're not that person. Maybe they would always say, oh, you're so shy, but really you're not shy. They just would tell you you're shy in a way to control you so that way you don't talk to anyone. Maybe you would do things because you had low self-confidence and you were always trying to get the approval of others. Maybe you notice you're always a chameleon going from different groups. Maybe before you thought you were just an extrovert and you're really good at making friends, but in reality you weren't making any real deep connections. You were just trying to please everyone and get the approval of other people. You may have been giving yourself what others wanted you to give yourself rather than what you actually wanted to give yourself. Maybe you're taking a career path that your parents had wanted of you. Maybe you married someone that your friends approved of. So you want to work through those wounds, understand that part of yourself, understand the toxic parts of you, and you also just want to know yourself on a deep level in general. Like, who are you? What are your character traits? What are your flaws? What are your skills and your strengths? What are your goals? What do you value? What's important to you? And what are your interests? Understanding all these things about yourself will create a really strong bond with you. Same thing like with communication in a relationship, it's really healthy. Communicate with yourself so that way you build that trust, and then you're aware of what you need and you're aware of what you actually want in your life, and you can actually give yourself those things rather than always masking it and trying to jump from thing to thing. You want to practice that self-love and that self-care. But here's the thing, another thing we have to add with accepting who you are, you know, flaws and all, just because you accept it doesn't mean that you have to like it. You don't have to like that your eyes are two different shapes, maybe talking from a personal standpoint, or you don't have to necessarily like that your knees are always in pain. Again, maybe personally attacking myself, but you need to accept that that is a part of you. Accepting doesn't always mean liking it. So for instance, we don't always like when bad things happen, but we accept, hey, this is the reality. And the reason why it's important to accept your reality is because then you can have realistic expectations for yourself. And you can live within your means rather than having these unrealistic goals and comparing yourself and then feeling bad about yourself. So if there's something that you can change and you want to change, then by all means do it. But if there's something that you can't change, then accept it. Change the way you view it. Because at the end of the day, if you don't accept your flaws and you're not okay with who you are now, and you don't feel like you're the best version of yourself, you sure as hell are not going to be happy in a relationship. That shit just comes right with you. It's gonna follow you like a creepy stalker. So work through your wounds. Get to know you. Who are you and who do you want to be? If there's things that you don't like about yourself, you can 100% work on it and change it. If you don't like that you're not good at maintaining your emotions, that's something that you can work on. You can accept it and you also can work on it. The next thing, which is not in any type of order, but stop putting importance on romantic relationships. Like I said before, it's ingrained in our brains, it's hardwired to feel like that a romantic relationship or being around a ton of people, having a ton of friends, never being alone is a negative thing. And so what happens is we feel really validated when we're with someone. We feel worthy, we feel attractive. And so what happens when things don't work out, you'll get into a negative headspace and you'll ask yourself questions like, why didn't they love me? When am I gonna find someone? Am I going to die alone? Oh, this person will save me. Being in a relationship will be everything. I'll be happy when I'm in a relationship or when I'm not alone. Or you'll have thoughts like, ugh, forever alone. When you have those types of thoughts, when you ask those types of questions, when you are saying those types of things, you're putting importance on being in a relationship. And it makes you feel powerless and it's giving away a sense of control. Now, don't get me wrong. It is okay to crave a relationship. We're social creatures. It's normal to want to be with someone and have a love. But you can't have a healthy relationship with someone if they are the most important thing in your life. You feel like you can't survive without someone, or you feel like you can't be alone. If you feel this, then you most likely are craving someone to fill a void that you are not healing or filling in yourself. Whether that is validation, feeling secure in yourself, feeling attractive, or always needing someone to make you feel better. You don't know how to self-parent or work through your own emotions. So you need someone else, or you may feel like you need someone else to make you feel better. So when you do that, you're giving up control and power to someone else. They now have the upper hand on you. The best relationships are the ones where people are together because they enjoy each other's companies, but they don't need each other. They can go their separate ways and they'll be fine and chilling. So that's why you want to take your power back. So rather than focusing on what's out of your control, what someone else is doing, or asking yourself the same questions or having the same thoughts like we had said, or focusing on trying to answer questions that we may not ever get the answers to, focus on what you can control. Ask yourself, what did I learn from my previous relationships? What are things maybe I can do different so that way I don't repeat the same mistakes? You can control how you deal with being single. You can make it a positive experience, or you can make it a negative experience. You can work on giving yourself your own validation and placing that worth and that importance on yourself and your relationship with yourself. It is all a choice. The next one, which is kind of a little small mini note, but try to stay away from social media or block people that trigger you to compare yourself to them, or try to maybe put them on mute, whatever. Just stay away from people that you notice make you feel bad. Now, it's not because there's anything wrong with them, it's just because you may need that mental break, and it's okay. You notice that you're comparing yourself too much to these people, and comparison is the biggest thief to joy. So you want to stay away from those things. And also understand social media is very fake. It's not real. What people put out is a perception of what they want you to see, but in reality, if people are constantly having to prove themselves or prove that they love their partner, that's a red flag to me. Because, and I might get a lot of hate for that, but that's a red flag. If you're constantly talking about how much you love your partner, normally that means they're cheating on them, or there's a lot of behind the scenes problems where they're searching for validation from others to get an ego boost. Now, if you do it every once in a while, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But constant, I don't know. What do you guys think? Tell me what do you think about people that constantly are trying to post their love, post these family pictures like they're this big happy family. But moving on to the next one, which is my personal favorite, and that's enjoy your own company. In my life, I've actually been forced, from unfortunate circumstances, but I was forced to have to be at home alone. Like, I couldn't leave my house. And with that time that I've been by myself, I've really enjoyed my company. I have the most fun with myself. And when I hang out with other people, they also tell me like, hey, you're so much fun. And it's because I think I'm fun. So you want to take yourself out on dates. You want to be able to use your imagination and play around with yourself. And I know that kind of seems a little weird, but you can poke fun at yourself. And that's actually a benefit, because then you get a thick skin. It will also help to improve your sense of humor, and also you become really good at giving comebacks. So there's a plus there. So that's why it's always good to laugh with yourself. You make a mistake, poke fun at yourself. Spend that time to do things for yourself. Do things with yourself that maybe no one else will do with you. Get creative. That's a good time to do music or arts or cooking or whatever it is. I always tell my clients, if you're feeling sad or you're feeling alone, go do something creative. Fill that part of you. And you overall want to make sure that you always have things to look forward to that are just for you. And then the last thing is make connections with other people. Now, like I had mentioned, it's really important for you to be alone and be comfortable with being alone, but don't think that you have to be isolated, because that's unhealthy. You need to be able to have friends and people that you connect with on an emotional level, so that way you don't feel like your partner has to meet all your needs. Because that's the mistake a lot of people make, is that they make their partner their entire best friend and try to make them meet all their needs, when in reality that's unrealistic. You'll get your different needs met from different people. So that's why you want to have those emotional connections where if you want to go to one person with one thing and they can relate to that, then good, you have that. Maybe you have another friend that you specifically do this certain thing with. That way you're not putting all your eggs in one basket, and so that way you don't feel like your partner has to meet all your needs. So if you need to make new connections and find your people, then go do that. Or if you have people in your life and you notice you maybe need to strengthen those bonds, then go and do that. But try to make sure that you're connecting with those people, sharing the vulnerable parts of you, so you don't feel that loneliness. There needs to be that balance of being like, you know what, I notice I need some time with myself, to sit with myself. And then there's going to be other moments where you notice, hey, listen, I notice I've been disconnected from others. I need to reach out. You'll eventually learn how to have that healthy balance. The best way to do it is first go to yourself, you know, be able to work through things yourself. And then afterwards, that's when you can go to someone else. So that way you always feel like you got your back first, rather than feeling like someone else has your back first. So what do you guys think? Leave it all in the comments below. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share with someone that you think may need it. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye, guys. My light has fell 50 million times and I screamed really loud, and I don't know if my neighbors are borderline gonna call 911 or they're gonna check on me, or maybe they don't give a shit about me and they're like, good, die bitch. Hopefully we got a shot. Girl, are you happy, girl? That's why I have these weird ass outtakes, because I spend a lot of time with myself and I'm always talking to myself. Okay, let's start. The starting's always the hardest. My thoughts are always jumbled. Where'd my phone go? Am I the only one that loses my phone 50 million times a day? Well, that's why I'm really good at finding things. I'm the master finder. What's wrong with me? I wonder if you guys can tell I was rushing at the end because my camera is flashing that it's gonna die.